Good morning, everyone. Hey, I took a break over the holidays, kind of just let everything go, but I'm back now. And I'm going to start doing some more videos. I've got a couple of ideas in the works. I'm going to put together some series of training videos. I think you'll like them. But today, what I want to talk about is something that happened in the last couple days. And I really want to talk about it in it's kind of comical, but also in respect to if we think about it on a deeper level, it's really impactful and says a lot about how too many of our people in our country think. And I want to talk about Susan Collins' comment in an op-ed piece that she made after the deal Wednesday in Washington with the kind of invasion of the Capitol. And in her op-ed piece, now this is a U.S. senator, remember. She said that her first thought was that the Iranians were invading the U.S. And I thought to myself, come on, really, the Iranians? And I started to think about that, and I said, first off, let's talk about the sheer logistics of that, right? That how did an invasion force large enough to attack the Capitol get to Washington, D.C. undetected, right? That discounts our spies, that discounts our surveillance of countries, our reconnaissance of countries, our satellite watching of countries, everything that we do to keep track of what other militaries and other countries are doing, especially ones that aren't friendly to us, in order to prevent something just like that from happening. And I started thinking about it, then I thought about, okay, so how did they get, it'd be tens of thousands of soldiers in some sort of vehicles, whether they're boats or whether they're planes or helicopters. And how did we not detect that coming in? How did they land? Where did they land? How did they land? And then they get to the Capitol undetected and invade the Capitol. I mean, this is what I'm saying is going through her mind, right? Then I started to think, how is a U.S. senator who is privy to so much national security information that you and I don't know about, and you and I can figure it out that they could never get here that way, how is she, her first thought is that a foreign military, a foreign government, a foreign country, a foreign state has launched an all-out invasion of the United States? Because it couldn't just be Washington, D.C. It would have to also be every other military installation, government. Just think of the scope of that. They would have to go everywhere. How many tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands? I mean, it's amazing to me that was her first thought, that it was an Iranian invasion, right? That she wouldn't think that it would be people who are already here, right? U.S. citizens and coming into the Capitol. But then I thought about this and I said, let's think about this from a little bit deeper perspective, okay? On a serious note. Her first thought was that it was a Muslim country invading ours. That a Muslim country. So she is so ingrained that our primary enemies who will go to any length to harm us are Muslims, that just an invasion of the Capitol would have been led by Muslims. We have to understand what that means, okay? Is that our thinking is such that, and if we look at it, yes, we have had terrorist attacks on our soils committed by Muslim people. However, is that the norm? Is that the norm? Of all the mass casualty events that have happened in our country, have they been Muslim terrorist attacks? The predominant amount. I'm not talking about amount, okay? I'm not talking about in an incident. I'm talking about incidents, okay? How many incidents where mass casualties were suffered have they been Muslims? How many times have we been invaded in our history by a foreign government, by a foreign power, by a foreign military? How many times? Not many. And how many times in the last 100 years? Okay? So we have to understand the significance, and that's in all of us, okay? I'm not talking about just in her. I'm talking about in all of us. We have to understand the significance of this. And you can say and dismiss it and go, oh, you know, you're an idiot, whatever. That's fine. I don't care. I know what I'm about. But the thing is, what she said, and then another video that I watched from just a citizen who was talking about China buying land in the Caribbean in order to put a military base in order to invade the U.S. And again, I'm like, so here we have two different people talking about foreign governments, foreign militaries invading the United States. We really have to understand that, man, is that when we're talking about that, that's going to take us off in a direction. Our military has got that covered, man. That's the whole thing. We as private citizens don't need to be sitting there going, keeping an eye on China and keeping an eye on Iran about whether they're coming to invade us. Our military has that covered, okay? You got to understand our military is very competent. They are, all right? But we also have to look at what our mindset is when we're thinking these things, that we are more concerned with some foreign government launching a full frontal attack on us than we are about the divisions in our country, the divisions between people, the divisions between political ideology, right? That's going to be our biggest problem. I remember I was reading about one of the founding fathers, and I can't remember who it is right now, or whether it was even Abraham Lincoln maybe said it, but he said that the true attack on America is not going to come from a foreign government. It's not going to come from without. It's going to come from within. That we are the only thing that can demolish our country. Us. Not any foreign government. So I just want you to really sit with that for a bit, right? And don't dismiss everything, and don't go back to your normal way of beliefs and your little small way of thinking, right? Think big picture with this. That what is the reasonableness? How reasonable is it to think the things we think? And what are those thoughts based on? I'll tell you this. I'm a lot more worried about the division in our country than anybody else coming to invade this country. They do not want any of that. But we, divided, we don't stand a chance. Something to think about. Hey, everybody, understand I say this from a position of I love this country and I love the people here, and I just want us to be as strong as possible, man. It's about all of us. All right? Hey, look forward to some other series coming up, and have a great weekend.